Welcome to the 5G podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversation about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
Start. No. We're serious. We're serious now.
Oh, it's the little Korean heart.
Oh.
You ever do that?
No, not even once. That's a heart?
No, so you go like that, and it's like a heart. Okay, go, Spark.
Go.
He broke that.
No.
That's fine.
You were laying down.
Yeah, if you match up the creases of your fingers like that.
I don't know why this is so difficult.
You can see the heart though, right?
I mean, kind of. Yeah. I think the
lobe right there and the lobe right there.
Yeah.
It's Korean heart. Japanese? I think it's Korean. I don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was the best intro we've ever had.
Amazing.
Just me sitting there in silence and.
So everyone who is still listening, this is a podcast. We talk about stuff.
Sometimes
it's entertaining.
Sometimes.
On to Stephen with the news. No.
This week in news: Trump shot at again.
News.
Once again.
In case you hadn't heard, just another week.
Yeah.
I want to talk about latest video game I've been playing. I'm almost done with it because it's just a quick little one. Doom Eternal.
Doom.
It's not new or anything. Came out in 2020. But we had talked about previously. They had already announced the next Doom game,
which looks dope.
Which does look amazing.
Yeah.
Would you like
Old World? Doom Old World?
Yeah, Doom the Old World.
The Old World? Yeah.
Would you like a double barrel shotgun in like medieval Scotland or something? That's kind of what it looked like.
Oh, and also a chainsaw shield that you can throw and grapple with or whatever.
They decided just a chainsaw from the previous games wasn't enough.
Yeah, and so they gave you a shield that you can frisbee at people's faces.
Catch, chainsaw, double barrel.
I mean, I think the genre of uber masculine shooting bugs or demons or tyrannid swarms is alive and well.
Very, very much so.
You had Helldivers first and then Space Marine. And now
Doom is the new one is 2025, I think, scheduled soon-ish.
One per year.
Yeah.
Did Helldivers come out this year or last year?
It was started this year.
I thought for some reason it might have been end of 2023. But yeah, you're right.
Big contenders for Game of the Year this year.
Yeah. What do you think out of the three? So in my opinion, you've got Black Myth Wukong, Space Marine 2, Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Palworld might be up there.
Yeah. Palworld. In terms of sheer numbers, it's probably Black Myth Wukong because they got a ton of Chinese players. Worldwide, I think if you just do player count or popularity, for Game of the Year is like the best game.
Yeah, because like a lot of people played
Helldivers, Palworld.
No, the last year's one that you played.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate, jeez. Yeah. A ton of people played it, but it wasn't like the most popular game, right?
Number of players.
Yeah. So, which I think it probably should have won from what I've seen, but
still keeps consistently like 100,000 even after a year, which
really
is impressive on Steam alone.
Yeah, that's good.
I think they just had their last update, so they said they're like, we're probably done with like content updates for a year. Move on to the next thing.
I'll be interested to see what happens with because Helldivers 2. Well, yes, Helldivers 2 has been in a little bit of hot water with its fan base.
Yeah,
and I think Space Marine 2 coming out has not helped it because it's like, instead of 4 players, I play with 3 players.
3 players.
And I am killing bugs with flamethrowers and machine guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does kind of pull the same crowd.
Yeah, it's very, very similar genre.
Mm-hmm.
But do you see that they released kind of like their roadmap?
They had a big Space Marine had a
Space Marine, yes.
Gotcha, yes. I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some new enemies,
pretty good.
New
playable factions too, right?
New playable factions, new maps for the PvP and the multiplayer modes. Does look good. Helldivers 2 just had their like a big content update. I know that's kind of giving it a little bit of a resurgence.
Yeah,
got some people in there.
I see Ian on it all the time still.
Yeah, they did a lot of good things in this update.
Yeah,
it's bringing a lot of players back.
I saw that apparently the robot faction, they have like a drop ship, and apparently the recoilless rifle that you can get now just like destroys that drop ship.
Ooh, nice.
Which is like, it's sick.
Yeah,
but like you gotta like lead it. Like I saw a whole Instagram video about.
That's probably what they did. I think in this update, I heard they like rebuffed some old weapons.
Yeah,
because like at the start of the game, they were just like they just kept nerfing things, and people were like,
"But why?
I play this game to like feel cool and powerful."
Yeah,
like I want it to be balanced, but can't you just buff other weapons?
Yeah,
or balance it in some way. Like, oh, you have less ammo if you want the OP weapon. It's easy.
Yeah,
but
or like if you have a flamethrower, there's a chance that you get hit and explode.
Sure, yeah, your gas tank just
you just die.
Right.
That would be funny.
And any allies around you.
Yeah.
Game balance. It's not that hard. And everybody, instead of nerfing, you should probably always buff, make everybody feel cool. Doom Eternal though has been a blast. I never beat it actually the first time I played it, probably back when it came out. So I'm replaying through it, almost done. Phenomenal game. I've recommended it to you before because you're not really like a first-person shooter story. I don't remember why specifically, but I know I recommended it to you because it is like it's modern, but it feels like an old shooter.
Sure.
Where it's just a power fantasy, as we were describing. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It can be, but they give you 1-ups. They give you extra lives, like in the old classic Doom games.
Sure.
So I'm just playing through on like the normal difficulty, and I do have spare extra lives, which is nice. Because I feel like if I was on a harder difficulty, I would be out of those constantly.
Really?
I would be struggling to find the next extra life for the next big fight, the big encounter. Because the game is good, and it just like always gets harder, and then they keep giving you new tools, and then they'll make the enemies harder. It's like how a Dungeons and Dragons campaign should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you level up, or maybe your DM gives you a really OP weapon or something. But then the enemies just get tougher as well. So it's constantly growing. You constantly feel like you're learning. You're getting better.
Yeah.
You're zipping around. You're slaying demons. You got your grappling hook. Oddly enough, at the point of the game I'm at, I have like everything unlocked. Rocket launcher actually feels like the weakest weapon, which is kind of funny compared to other games. And they're like, oh, the rocket launcher, that's the best weapon or whatever. I don't know. The
like
last one
in Halo, you get 4 shots or whatever, but it's like kills anything.
Ooh. No, at this point, like it was cool when I got it, but now it's not good enough.
Sure. That's fun.
It's either not fast enough or not explosive enough. Like when I've got the literally the last weapon you unlock is super OP. I think you see it on the cover art. Is he's got his like lightsaber sword thing.
Cool.
It's just this like thin blade of like red laser, which is awesome. You have to go get it because it's the only weapon that can like kill a Titan demon or whatever. And the big bad evil guy is like resurrecting another evil Titan to sick on Earth. So you got to go get your sword back, which you left in the body of like the last Titan that you killed like between the last 2 games or something. So you have to like go get your sword and reforge it or whatever. It looks sick. And it just like one-hit kills any demon. limited ammo, but the animations are it's slice done. Game makes you feel cool. You're constantly getting upgrades and power-ups, and they have a lot of different collectibles. So like you're exploring through the missions and you're actually getting different like currencies to upgrade different things, either your guns or your armor.
Yeah.
With like extra stuff, not just like plus 5 health. You know, some RPGs can feel kind of lame with the upgrades.
Yeah, for sure.
These ones are always good. Like every weapon has like 2 different mods that drastically change sort of the alternate fire of the mod. Like your first shotgun is just like a pump action thing, And you can either put a underbarrel grenade launcher on it, or you can do fully automatic mode. You put like 3 barrels on it that rotate.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. The minigun, I like the minigun a lot. They never give you enough ammo in the game for it, but you either have like a shield when you're firing, which is cool. It just kind of recharges over time, or you can like post up and you go into like turret mode with the minigun. So you can't move, but you just get more damage, more bullets downrange.
That's cool.
So yeah, everything feels unique. And then you buy passive upgrades to those mods of like, oh, it's more damage, or the animations are quicker. It's a good game. Everything makes you feel good, makes you feel powerful.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. You just have these like high octane, blood pumping, fueled like kill all the demons, and then like you get couple minutes of like, oh, I got to explore the map and I got to get the secret there, and okay, it looks like I can bust through that wall. So there's like some puzzle solving.
So is it kind of like Halo-esque?
Yeah, very Halo-esque. Just more of the classic role-playing game elements with all the upgrades and the currencies and stuff.
Sure.
Not just the weapons.
Sure.
But then it's fast. It's much faster than Halo.
Halo's almost a cross between a tactical shooter and like sometimes, right?
Sure.
Like there's a couple of the sniper missions where you're like sneaking around.
Yeah.
And then you like sneak up to a high point and like take out the elite or whatever.
Halo Reach was solid for that. Halo 2 had some portions of that. You can go invisible as the Arbiter anytime you want.
Oh, that's right. Was that 2?
Yeah, it was Halo 2. Oh. Halo 3, the Arbiter was there, but he didn't have any like standalone levels that were like stealthy.
That's right.
He was just with Master Chief the whole time.
The Arbiter levels were fun.
Yeah, they were pretty sick. I've actually played through Halo 2, the whole campaign recently with my wife.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was pretty good. I'm not nearly as good at that as I thought I was, or at least as I used to be. Very hard to aim with a controller, first off. And then Halo 2 is just a hard game, I think. Anybody out there can flame me in the comments, but I think my wife and I actually dispute.
You played on Legendary?
Just Mythic. Halo 2 on Legendary, I forget. I think even on co-op, if like one player dies, you got to restart from your last checkpoint.
Yeah.
Halo 3, any of the other Halos, you can cheese it a little bit where you just let the one player respawn you if they're safe. Halo 2 was like, nah, you got to restart.
That's crazy.
It was tough. And then Halo 3, you respawn with grenades. So like, you just have one person stay safe, and then you can also do 4-player co-op in Halo 3. So then everybody's just chucking grenades all the time, just kamikaze.
Yeah,
very easy. I think Halo 1 probably has some tougher levels, but since I've recently replayed through Halo 2, I'm willing to concede that I think Halo 2 is actually the strongest now, the toughest one.
Really?
It's a tough game. But yeah, there's the video game I'm playing recently, Doom Eternal.
Very nice.
Very good game. I do recommend it.
Very nice. Well, we want to move into the law review section of this one.
Right. The controversy.
Yes.
Controversy.
Right. Should we do an episode where we just have monocles and top hats and just like, yes, these plebeians playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have another.
We pay for the $120 early access versions of games. 2 AAA games. Wait, no, 1 AAA game for the price of 2.
I added another thing to our list if we need it.
Oh, excellent.
So there's a lawsuit brewing. Not brewing.
It's out.
Yeah.
The headlines.
So Palworld, Pokemon with guns is its like internet tagline, right?
Yeah.
And when it came out, everyone was like, "Oh, Nintendo is 100%." Nintendo? Yeah. Nintendo is 100% suing
the Pokemon company.
Yeah.
Is under Nintendo, but yeah.
They're 100% going to sue Palworld for like copyright infringement or patent infringement or whatever it is.
Character design.
Yeah. The character design is like almost a ripoff. Like you have Pal Spheres, which are just Pokeballs.
They're just Pokeballs.
Right? So everyone was like, oh, they're for sure getting sued, right? And then they didn't.
No, yeah, I think there was even a statement back then that
Yeah.
Nintendo law, like Nintendo legal, was like, nah, we're like, we looked at it and like, nah, we're fine.
So fast forward 6 months or so, and Nintendo has sued Palworld.
Now there is a lawsuit,
and there's some really big backlash about it because, so like, if they had sued them at the beginning for like trademark infringement based off of the character design, it'd be like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a dick move, but like also, yeah,
but yeah, how much can you patent a fire fox, a water penguin?
Yeah, but if you look at them like side by side,
an electric mouse,
like I understand what you're saying, right? And like, but like, there definitely was room for a lawsuit there, right?
Sure. I think I agree with that. There's wiggle room, but like, it's not like like really bad cop or rip-offs would be like a Pokeball, but you like swapped the reds on the bottom and the whites on the top.
Yeah.
Like, when your buddy gives you the homework and he's like, "Hey, just change it a little bit." So
yeah, exactly.
Like they at least,
I mean, on some of the
original assets,
they do, but a lot of them are. You're like, if you like look at the pink cat things.
Oh yeah.
They look like the pink cat things in Pokemon.
The pink Pokemon cat, yeah. Skitty,
the one that Rocket,
Meowth.
No, he's white though.
He's white.
They have those as well.
I think Skitty's pink.
I don't remember. I know, my Pokemon knowledge is like next to zero. It's like a 1 or 2%.
Your Palworld knowledge, though,
it's higher than my Pokemon,
slightly.
But I don't remember the names of. It's been a minute since I've played, so I don't remember the names of the creatures, the pals. Anyway, so everyone was like, "Oh, they're gonna get sued." They didn't get sued, and everyone's like, "Ah, great! Nintendo's like a good company because they let this awesome game exist." Mm-hmm. And then
just you wait.
This week, Nintendo's like, "Ah, by the way, we're suing you." And then everyone was like, "Oh, what are they suing them for?" And they looked at it and they're like, "What?" Because they're suing them for patent infringement on a patent that they filed for a month after Palworld released.
No.
And you know what they're?
Pokeballs or something. I don't know.
It's even more ridiculous.
Yeah, penguins.
It's an object being thrown at an enemy in a certain fashion.
No.
Yep.
That's a joke.
Nope.
That's a joke.
Nope. So they literally have a guy, the patent information, the technical specifications of the patent literally has a character model, just an androgynous stick figure-esque character with a sphere in its hand, and it shows an arc towards a T-Rex.
Man, the patent office will just give you anything these days, won't they?
And that, like, they filed that patent
towards an enemy a month after Palworld.
A month after Palworld release.
So I guess you gotta go ban every Call of Duty game.
So this is what everyone's saying. It's like, okay, like
grenades.
That's Madden.
Oh, footballs. Yeah, you're right.
Baseball games.
Baseballs. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a cricket game in India that we don't know about,
Probably.
But they throw balls. Right. Like
any throwing at an enemy.
Halo could be sued for grenades.
Yep. In any military shooter.
Any military game. Like,
oh, you see, I just played Doom. You don't throw your grenades like this, actually. You have a shoulder-mounted thing that launches them for you on the left side.
So Doom would be okay.
Doom's fine, actually.
Except when you throw your Frisbee shield.
Oh, that's true. The next one? Yeah. Probably. But if you're left-handed, you're good, I think, right?
Oh, that's true, probably.
Specifically, they patented that arc?
I think so.
So if I was the lawyer for Palworld, I would just, like, flip the characters and be like, oh, hey, we're not infringing anymore.
Or
all of our characters
instead of making it an overhead, make it a sidearm.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, whoocha!
Yeah, just...
But like...
Ninja stars.
Grenades in, like...
Any
Counter-Strike?
Any first-person shoot, anything with a gun probably has grenades.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike might be safe because they at least show the animation of like pulling the pin first, and then I don't think so because you still go back and chuck it. Yeah.
I don't think anything that happens before or after matters.
Wow.
Like literally, the patent is literally just chucking a ball.
I did not know that. This is my like candid shocked face. I just saw
normal
that
face.
I'm always shocked. Yeah, I just saw the headlines like, oh, okay, they're suing them for what they said they weren't going to. The rip-off Pikachus. Woo. But no, it's literally throwing a ball. That's what the problem with.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, okay, first of all, this is retarded. Second of all, like, does that mean every game, if the lawsuit is allowed to continue forward, and if they win, if Nintendo wins the lawsuit,
oh my goodness,
what, like, everyone's saying this is such a bad thing.
Yeah, I know it's not quite like Supreme Court style, like it's going to set precedent for the gaming industry forever. But it will kind of, in that it appears like anyone could sue anyone for that after this, or like certainly at least
Nintendo could sue anyone after this.
Yeah, and
they own the patent,
and anyone can report,
or they're going to have to pay royalties.
Yeah,
for patent use.
Any baseball game.
It's so dumb. This is, in my opinion, like, if they had done it based off of their trademarked creatures, right, and like could make some claim that, you know, there's like, oh yeah, there's one creature. If it was like just one
creature,
Pokemon and Pal that were like the same, it's like, okay, that's coincidence probably. But if they could like prove like, oh yeah, here's our list of Pokemon, here's the list of all the pals, they match up one for one with like our list of Pokemon.
Yeah, like the names and the art and the design
are similar enough, right? It's like, oh, you have an electric thing called Chukapeek. Yeah. And it shoots lightning out of its rear.
Like, again, is like the colors are exactly the same or just like slightly shifted.
Yeah, it's like, oh, instead of black and yellow, it's yellow and black.
Yeah, or it's like, it's off yellow.
It's a brighter yellow and a darker brown.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like
definitely not Pikachu though.
It's like, if they had done that, it's like, okay, that's reasonable, right? Because like IP is important.
Totally, yeah. You don't want people making money off of your stuff, yeah, without permission.
Yes,
or royalties.
Yes,
that's how.
Which usually go hand in hand.
Yeah. That's how industry works.
Yeah. So a lot of people are like, in my opinion, it's like the way they're doing this is like if a car company came out and said, hey, Forza, you know how you use an engine in your cars?
We patented the idea of engine.
We have a patent on an engine. And it's like, it's a video game car.
No, but we patented an engine attached to axles.
No. This is the thing.
Oh, no, just an engine.
We just patented an engine.
That's, yeah, all right.
I mean, because that's like,
as generic as it is. Throwing an object at an enemy.
Yeah.
We have an engine that goes.
Yeah.
That runs.
What's annoying is like, if they had said throwing an object at an enemy in order to capture it,
yeah,
it'd be like, okay, that's like a little bit better.
To capture,
but also you filed this patent after the game came out.
Yeah,
and also, you're throwing something at an enemy to capture it. Like, that just feels like the most generic thing on the planet.
Yeah, like Pokeballs are unique. If they had a really specific patent on Pokeballs, which maybe they don't need a patent for that because everybody knows at this point, but it's like you throw a spherical object using, science fiction technology, it shrinks your target down and you capture it inside. Yeah, like if they went really specific on it, of course it's yours. And then maybe there's something there because Palworld does have the PAL spheres.
But another thing is, like, if they had this patent before Palworld came out, it's like, okay, obviously.
Sure, yeah. It's weird, but
it's after Palworld came out.
And they're trying to patent baseballs.
It's like
grenades.
You're making someone a criminal after the fact.
Yeah.
Which, as we know, at least in the US, is illegal.
Is not allowed.
Maybe
they're just trying to plan ahead. Maybe the next Pokemon game is going to have grenades.
I mean, if they do, then like the next Call of Duty that comes out, or the next
Pokeballs
instead of grenades.
Yeah. I want to see that mod. You just like catching Russians in Pokeballs.
That's like the bounty system.
Yeah,
you just capture them.
What are the enemies of the recent Call of Duty games? I don't even know.
Probably some PMC.
Yeah, okay.
Private military corporation.
Back in my day, Call of Duty was a history video game.
Yeah. Well, they had a.
Now it's all futuristic.
What's the one that came out in like 2013, 2014?
Black Ops?
No, it was the futuristic one where Kevin Spacey was the
bad guy.
Well, he was the narrator.
Oh,
and you worked for a PMC that had like the exoskeleton suits, and you
Call of Duty Ghosts, I think.
No, it wasn't Ghosts. I promise it wasn't. It was
2014. It sounds about right. But
it might have been earlier than that. It might have been 2012.
The one that had a dog with a knife.
No.
Every game with a dog is instantly made better if the dog has a knife.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's a dog. It's a dog with a knife.
It's a dog with a knife. The Metal Gear Solid games, at least number 5, has a dog with a knife. It's great.
What is this Call of Duty, man? Yeah. Shoot, I'm
gonna. Modern Warfare. Postmodern Warfare.
No.
Future Warfare. Call of Duty Cyberpunk. Call of Duty Halo.
Will Wikipedia have a list of all of the Call of Duties?
Fast and the Furious. Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Ghosts, 2013.
2013.
Advanced
Warfare. I knew
2014.
Something Warfare. Okay. Yep. You're right. I did play some Advanced Warfare then. Because back then it was like revolutionary.
Yeah, there's like wall jumps and like jetpacks.
The exoskeleton.
Yeah.
So you can do some cool stuff.
There's some cool like future tech like laser guns that you can use.
I'll say the novelty wore off quick because I think after that I remember playing Halo 5, which was not good. Halo 5 felt slow compared to that new era of first-person shooters. Like, it was boring. I was just walking everywhere. They didn't even have a sprint button. I remember not liking Halo 5 whatsoever. And then I played Titanfall 2, which was like that. And you're sprinting and jumping around. You're doing kick flips. Then you're in a giant mech suit sprinting, jumping around, doing kick flips.
Dude, I can't wait until there's freaking real-life mechs. Yeah. It's going to be so sick.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up. I'll be a mech pilot.
100%.
Pacific Rim style. Oh, yeah. That would be cool.
Or just Titanfall style.
Yeah.
These Titanfalls, it's tiny compared to Pacific Rim.
Smaller mechs, at least. Yeah.
Single person.
one guy, easier to pilot.
But, like, can you imagine you're just, like, piloting this thing that's, like, just running around. It's got a blade on one arm, and then you've got, like, a 20-millimeter Gatling on the other.
Oh, yeah.
I guess Gatling would be 20-millimeter autocannon. Fine. Yeah. Some HE rounds.
It's just the male fantasy. I don't know what to tell you.
Male fantasy is dying on a foreign continent in a mech suit.
Uh-huh. Protecting your loved ones.
Nah, doesn't even need to do that. Okay. Just die.
I've just seen those memes pop up of like, they'll just show clips from like old, like, I don't know, video games or movies.
Yeah.
Dying, protecting your loved ones, and all the girls in the comments like, "What? I don't get it." Like, it's the male fantasy. You wouldn't.
The male, yeah, that's true. I get a bunch of memes where it's
the last stand.
The male, or it's what did they say? It's there has like how there's like the memes where it's like the children yearn for the mines.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's very similar. Where this one is just the reason men are depressed is because they haven't had a war on continental Europe to fight in.
This generation, yeah.
So everyone's depressed. There's no war.
I mean, if you look at the correlation causation, right? Like every generation in recent history has fought a war on continental Europe.
Yeah.
And statistically, people are more depressed now, and so that's obviously the only related factor.
There it is.
That's it.
We got to start marching through the Caucasus Mountains, bud.
Just you wait, Steven. We might be there in a couple years. We'll solve the male loneliness epidemic. We'll solve male depression.
Is the cure to male depression fighting on Europe with your homies?
Kill enough of them in war, so statistically there's less depression.
See, this is the problem, though, is that we're not headed towards war on continental Europe.
No.
We're headed towards war in the Pacific, which is not the male fantasy.
No, yeah, nothing. Mm-mm.
No. It's got to be continental Europe.
Apparently continental Europe. I'm a fan of the Pacific Theater World War II history, but like...
the history, though.
Yeah, statistically, that's not good.
No.
It's not good for male depression.
It's not.
We're not joking about war, but
we are.
but kind of actually. I think you're allowed to. Comedy is comedy.
Yeah. Well, you can joke about anything you want.
Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion,
we're not reveling in the deaths of people. I found out that's on a YouTube guideline, so you just got to make sure.
Really?
Yeah. Not allowed to revel in the death of people or individuals.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
And I think when talking about history, you can still either make jokes or you can talk about how the cool aspects of war.
Yeah,
while not reveling in the death specifically.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
no, that's an okay. I like that guideline.
Yeah,
that's an okay guideline.
Seems fine. I think it can be a little borderline sometimes, but hard to interpret. But
yeah, but a lot less hard to interpret than like some other guidelines.
Sure,
it's like
sure.
hate speech in general.
Right.
It's like
generic.
Yeah, it's like reveling in the death of a person is like everyone kind of knows where that line is.
Sure.
And like, there's probably some gray area on either side.
Some exception.
If you're like less or more sympathetic towards the person who died's cause, right?
Uh-huh.
But
yeah,
it's still like pretty obvious, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway,
in my opinion,
video games.
Tell me about.
Oh, dude.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
So exciting. I can't wait. The next quadruple A pirate type game is coming out. It's going to blow Ubisoft's Skull and Bones out of the water, pun intended. I thought this was a meme. I think this was just announced yesterday. It's hilarious. I say it's the best. It's going to be the best pirate type quadruple A game. In all reality, it's probably actually only a triple A. It might not compete with Skull and Bones. Might not pull the same audience. You know, the 80 players on Skull and Bones might not drop to come play this game.
Sure.
The fighting style is a little bit different, but
you mean it exists?
Yes, there's gameplay. The Yakuza series just announced their next game.
Is it a pirate Yakuza game?
Yes, it's called. The title is ridiculous because it's a sequel to their last game, which was called Like a Dragon: whatever, right? So this one is Like a Dragon because they want to like continue that timeline or whatever. It's Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
What? That's the name of the game?
That's roughly translated from Japanese, but that is the official name, yes, in English. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza.
Okay, so are we like 1941 or like
no, we're like modern?
Modern pirating.
Yes. Uh-huh. It's like 2010s or 2020s.
So what are you supposed to like? Are you just like on like a rowboat or like what are you like riding around in?
It's like pirate ships from what I saw. Like actual wooden
in
ships.
Modern. What the heck?
I don't. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What a kit bash of a concept.
Uh-huh. And the one character you play, and I've only dipped my toe in the Yakuza world, but he's one of the characters from the first game I just played that had the dual protagonists. I think he ends up being antagonist in a couple of the later games. They're kind of some weird, like a foil to the protagonist. So you just like, is not for or against the main character, but kind of like helps them grow or whatever. Yeah. So he already has an eye patch anyway from like a Yakuza incident that happened before this first game I played, Yakuza 0. And so he already fits as a pirate. But it's supposedly the story, because the 5-minute trailer probably spoiled a lot of it. He like loses his memory, so he doesn't even know his name, but he knows he's a Yakuza. And then he just like washes up on the shores in they have a lot of like made up islands roughly around Hawaii. And then he like gets involved with pirates, and they basically have like, this is the fantasy part, they have like pirate gangs sailing the seas in the Pacific, and he's got to like lead his own crew and I don't know, get the treasure or something.
That's hilarious.
Some big treasure they're searching for. So Yakuza, they're fighting games. So instead of like beat 'em up fighting games, you just like get 2 cutlasses, and now you're fighting like 30 dudes on the deck of this pirate ship just with your swords just
I mean,
ninja kick flipping around.
this is the thing. In my opinion, you've raved about how good the Yakuza games are.
Yeah.
It's like, if they can just make a Yakuza game, like, does it really matter where it's set?
No.
And if like they like add a thing where you can like shoot a cannon, it's like the storyline has to be paper thin.
Yeah.
If it's a good gameplay loop, right? Like,
good gameplay loop, and then they're known for like maybe the main story's not fantastic, but like the side quests are always fun and hilarious. They'll make you laugh while still kind of being well written and sometimes tender. And so this game is just a side quest where you're just a pirate in Hawaii.
That's hilarious.
Fighting other pirates, yeah.
That's hilarious.
There's at least one scene I saw where it is like modern Hawaii. You're just like at a resort or whatever. Like you can just like walk around the city. Like, okay.
That's very funny.
But you're gonna have like a pirate crew and a pirate ship, and there's some element of ship battles, I think, which is already more than Skull and Bones has. So that's why I had to bring it up. The next best pirate type video game.
Have you seen what Sea of Thieves has been doing?
No, actually, I haven't heard it.
They just came out with a new world event of this massive skeleton ship.
Oh,
like massive, like bigger than the galleon.
Dang. Okay.
And apparently, I saw a video on it last night. And apparently, once you defeat this world event, you can actually go in and like take over and claim the ship.
Ooh, nice.
And it has its own skeleton crew that you're the captain of now.
Oh, that's fun.
And like, it has like 10 cannons.
And the AI, like
the AI shoots the cannons, but you can also shoot the cannons.
Yeah.
And like, if you had a galleon and you had a crew, they can like all go in and you claim it as a crew, right?
Yeah.
So you just like get rid of your old ship and this is your ship now.
Wow,
it looks pretty cool. It looks really difficult to do.
Yeah, to take it down, I bet. But then you get an AI crew, which in that game would be like insane.
Yeah, and you're the king of the ship. And the king of the seven seas,
the ghost skeleton pirate king.
But you're marked on the map for the entire time because other crews can come and try and capture it from you.
Take your ship. Yep.
Yeah. So it's anyway.
Clever.
Modern pirating in Hawaii.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
With Yakuza, don't forget.
Yeah. That's right.
With
Japanese gangs.
Japanese gangs are involved for some reason.
Fair enough, man. Like, are you gonna play it?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's already the character I like from the series. The one Like a Dragon, I think they had 1 or 2 games. They have a new protagonist there, so like I don't know anything about the protagonist and mixed feelings there, but this is an old character and he gets his own game, so it's cool and it looks fun.
Fair enough.
Comes out in February, I think.
Fair enough.
Quick release date from trailer to release.
And it looked fun?
Yeah, it did look fun.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. You have there's this little kid who like wakes you up when you first wash up on shore and he's got like a little baby tiger pet. You're like, all right, sure. That looks fun. I don't know.
Fair enough, man. That's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
That's super funny. What else do we got here, Trevor?
Next on the agenda, I think it was more video games.
Oh yeah.
We got to talk. We always intersperse good games, bad games.
It's true
when we have video game news. And we can keep this brief. Dragon Age: The Veil Guard, which just rolls off the tongue. There we go. We kept it brief. Continuing on.
Game hasn't even come out, and Trevor's
game has not even come out. No, so. I have a main point, so don't let me forget that. But they released some new content this week. I don't know if it was like developers showing off or if they leaked to some specific content creators. I didn't do that much digging into it. But they just released just like the character creator. And all political correctness aside, or incorrectness aside, the characters just look bad. The character design for a game in 2024 looks abysmal. And compared to even Dragon Age's previous games, that's just like their unique fantasy characters, they just look bad. They don't look pretty. They don't look good. And we have the technology. Baldur's Gate 3 last year was fantastic. You can make pretty characters. This was just Nothing from it looks good. Everyone can meme on it because it's so easy. You just do a side by side of Dragon Age 2 from 10 years ago and their new Dragon Age The Veil Guard characters. They just look terrible.
Huh.
They're just derpy.
Huh.
Like, what are you doing? So my main point about this, and this can kind of apply to other games or other companies, just because it has that Dragon Age title on it, that is not the same game that you played.
Yeah.
It's not the same team who made the game. It's not the same company. It is a different game. So that's my like PSA, the warning of like, just because something, it's like the next game in a series, and we talked about a couple series already on this episode, but it's just a word of caution. Like you gotta look into it, because it's
no pre-orders.
Yeah, no pre-orders. Just because it has the same name does not mean that's that same game.
Yeah,
don't let the nostalgia kind of cloud you. I enjoyed the Dragon Age games and that series of like, it was Mass Effect was always their sci-fi stories, and then Dragon Age was their fantasy stories. And that's BioWare as a company told fantastic stories. They were really well known for that. It's not the same company anymore. So
that's too bad.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit about it, and I was like, it reminds me of, or it's very similar to these other games that have just failed abysmally.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Where you're not.
I kept wanting to say Rogue.
Yeah.
It's Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws, where it's like, okay, the characters look derpy.
Yeah.
You had Concord. Characters look derpy.
Yeah.
You had what was the other one?
It flopped. Dustborn.
Dustborn.
Yeah.
Which the characters looked derpy.
Which was and had to have been a money laundering scheme, but yeah.
All of them, man.
All of them.
You know, you have these games where it's like you're putting so much effort into the stupid parts of designing a game.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're just force feeding these ideals to people, and it's like, what? If your ideas were good, or even like halfway reasonable, like if the ideas were halfway reasonable, you wouldn't have to force feed it into anyone. Like,
yeah.
For example, and this is like a real world thing, it's like the ideals of capitalism and the ideals of communism both reach that halfway makes sense point.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I can understand your logic and where you're coming from in this. You can have an intellectual conversation about either of those topics, right? Sure. It's like the benefits of potential communism. Like, it may not have ever worked, and like we can probably pretty much say like, okay, it's been experimented enough times that it's like probably not a viable system of economics.
But you can see where
the thought process was like, hey, if everyone were, to produce goods that they need, and then, any excess would be distributed to those who might not have that certain thing that they're able to, like, it's like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Everybody makes it off okay.
Yeah. And it's like, sure. Does it work? Obviously not, because of however many tries it's
I disagree when the government has to control that, but
yes, right. It's like, but like I'm saying, the ideas halfway work, right?
We can talk about that. Yeah.
If your ideas don't halfway work, it's like, that's why like neo-Nazism is like non-existent in like the vast majority of societies today.
It doesn't.
It's like,
doesn't work.
The ideals are stupid. No one is like on board with this unless they have the intellect of a 6-month-old hamster.
I was going to say a dingo, but yeah, no, that works. Yeah.
And like, that's why it's like, okay, yeah, that's obviously stupid. It's like, these, in my opinion, fall into that same category where it's like, if you're force feeding it down someone's throat, it doesn't work. Like, not at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you really want to, there's ways to show your diversity, equity, inclusion, or whatever, without force feeding it. right? Like
there was an sorry.
And Baldur's Gate 3 character creator. I told you I love it. You can make great characters. You can play as a male and make your character look female if you want, or you can swap the voices, you can swap the pronouns, whatever. And it's so like non-intrusive on the character creator. You really can't accidentally do it.
Sure.
You almost kind of have to not go looking for it, but you have to like scroll down. You can like change your genitals or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's there, but it's not like prominent. They're not advertising it. It's just like don't force feed it. Don't draw attention to. Who cares? Just normalize it if that's what you really want to do. Just whatever. It's off on the side. Like, whereas from what we've seen this week with Dragon Age: The Veilguard, it is like all their advertising.
Yeah.
And it is force feeding. Just like, oh, look at this.
And the game's gonna fail because of it, and then everyone's gonna. All these stupid game creators are going to be like, oh, look, neo-Nazis have caused it, and fascists have caused another game to fail.
The alt-right.
It's like...
The alt-right.
Or just no one wants that. Like, if your claim is that... If the idea is 50% of at least the US leans more left and 50% leans more right, then you have 50% of the target market, right?
In theory, yeah.
So it's like... If there's 50% of the market there's like 50% of the market doesn't buy any other game, right?
Yeah.
It's like there should be enough people overall to buy the game if it's a good game and has the ideals that they want. But guess what? No one buys those games.
No.
Because guess what? No one gives a rip about that crap.
Yeah, they're just bad. They're not fun. Or if you feel like you're being force fed a message, any message. I think that's a main point of like, no, yeah, I don't need your message crammed down my throat. I'm here to play a game, and I want it to look good. And
it's escapism.
I want it to look nice. I want it to be fun. So I think those.
You want to play as a Yakuza member on a pirate ship swinging swords around. You don't want to play as some
insert. Yeah.
It's like every video game that's good is like you're playing as a different character that is extra real.
You're larger than life.
Yes.
Yep.
Like Doom Guy is like,
who is now the Doom Slayer.
I mean, that makes more.
I'm just saying this game had a lot of lore. Actually, it was very impressive.
The Doom Slayer, right? You're playing as the guy who goes and fights demons with a chainsaw.
He's the only one they fear.
It's like, okay,
yeah,
like sure, like that's sick.
He's immortal. Nothing can.
How realistic is that? 0 on the realism scale.
Not at all.
Like big fat goose egg on the realism scale.
There's a double barrel shotgun.
But let me tell you, if I was going to go fight demons, not choosing the double barrel sawn-off shotgun.
No, definitely not.
Yakuza, how real is that? Maybe a 2 on the realism scale.
Yes, probably some of the games are more real than others, but yeah, no, it's.
But guess
Yakuza
what?
Exist.
Yes.
That's the 2 out of 10. It gets it up to a 2. Yeah.
I was going out of 100.
Oh, out of 100. Japan exists.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
3 out of 100.
Okay.
Japan exists.
Like good games, like Satisfactory.
Sure. Yeah.
Great game. Hundreds of thousands of people love that game.
There's no message.
There's no the message is terraform extraterrestrial planets.
All right, yeah, I could get behind this. Machinery and factory.
Everything about that game is the realism factor is like maybe a 1 because corporate greed.
Yeah. And there's steel. I don't know. There's the same materials
like,
that you know
there's
about.
Similar materials. There's like quartz and limestone and whatever.
Realism.
It's like, but it's a great game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think yeah, those are good points. Like my first point of like don't let the nostalgia cloud your vision of a game just because it has the same title on it of a game you liked 10 or 20 years ago. And then don't get a message force fed down your throat.
Message.
You must consume the message. Like, no, I don't want to.
You must agree with the message.
Like I think it's funny because you're right. You brought up the Yakuza example and the Doom example. Both of those like are series. They are remakes, but they're
Yeah, this is
still keeping the feel of the game alive. You keep the fans around.
And your point was not necessarily like all sequels nowadays are bad. That I don't think that was what you were saying at all. But you just have to look at who's making it, and if they want to keep the heritage of the game alive.
Exactly. You can tell. You just got to look at it. And if I think for to give like maybe another example, like there are those people who like Call of Duty and play every Call of Duty game. I think makers of Call of Duty are doing it right. They got a good formula that works, and they're not trying to change that. They don't need to be innovative.
No, they make gazillions of dollars off of it every year, and
it works.
Thousands and thousands and thousands, if not millions and millions of people play it every year.
And there probably won't ever be like a message you can cram down in a Call of Duty game. So it seems to happen more with role-playing games.
Well, that's the only part. How are you going to like cram a message into Counter-Strike?
Yeah.
It's like
it'd be really hard to do.
It'd be very and it would make the games you'd have to go so far out of your way to make the game playable.
Yeah.
With a message involved. It's like even if you had like a map that had just like all of this whatever, like
anime titties.
Well, no, just like the entire thing was like billboards of like support this, blah 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 blah.
It's like racism everywhere.
Yeah, it's like it's like okay, but like the gameplay isn't affected by that, other than the environment looks stupid.
It would just be stupid and weird, yeah.
But like if the gameplay is good, the gameplay is good.
It's still a game, yeah. They didn't really change it.
I mean, I don't know,
good or bad example, but yeah, I think it works.
An example of something that anyway,
Counter-Strike 2 totally changed the game. It's not even playable anymore. They got this now. You can play as the French. I'm quitting.
You can play as the French.
Always play as the French.
Yeah. It's literally one of the GIGN.
But now he's on the home page, and I didn't want to look at that. And
you can literally switch which character you're looking at on the home page.
But other people play the French, and I want to be able to ban them for playing the French model.
Yeah, you can play as the French, the US, British. The British, or the
what's the other one?
The Germans.
Oh yeah, that's it. So then maybe that's their message. The next game, Counter-Strike 3's, it'll be like you can now play as the Ukrainians or whatever, and they're gonna have a big Ukrainian flag, and it's like that.
Plays the Ukrainians and just mortar shells drop around you? Is that like what the
Ukraine versus Russia Counter-Strike?
Honestly, and like if Counter-Strike, which I don't think they would ever do, but if they wanted to release they have the character skins that you can buy for every 2 years or whatever, they come out with a new, I don't remember what they call
content update.
Yeah, I don't remember what mission? No, it's a
mission pack.
Anyway,
loot box.
Something like that, where there's a character skin and you can buy it if you want and equip it and whatnot. If they came out with one that was like a Ukrainian soldier, it's like, okay.
I mean, that at least fits in the game. Like it's
a soldier who has a Ukrainian flag on their shoulder. It's like, I don't give a rip.
Yeah.
There's already a British one, a German one, a French one, and a US one. It's like, okay,
why not?
Sure, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But anyway. Tell me about your next thing, Trevor.
Video games, man.
One more. No, this isn't a video game.
This one's not a video game, not technically. And I only really saw some headlines on it, so I didn't see any headlines. I don't think I have a whole lot of news other than just like, ta-da. Netflix re-announced that they are still working on their Magic the Gathering TV show. So I think it was first announced like in 2019, and then we had the dark years,
the vid,
the
poof,
the old. Never mind.
Ye old virus.
Are we allowed to call it the?
I don't know what we're allowed to say.
The Chinese flu? Are we allowed
I don't think that's politically correct.
But it does come from China, right?
Yeah.
I think we're allowed to say it came from China now. I think.
The bat boo boo.
Did it come from the Chinese COVID lab of coronaviruses? Maybe. Anyway, we had the dark years, and there wasn't a lot.
I think we should petition to now call 2019 through 2022 the Dark Ages.
In a couple of years, we'll get the next Doom game of like Return to the Dark Ages.
It's just 2019.
It's just like New York, like empty streets.
with crackheads. Just,
where's all the demons at? They're all around
there's
us.
a guy like shooting up heroin.
It's the only one on the street.
He just runs at you like a hunter from
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, just
you just see him like
crawling around. Man,
I want to make that game.
rip and tear, man. Load up your chainsaw.
That would be so funny if you just. That would be a funny game.
Yeah, Doom guy. What was I saying?
TV show.
Yeah, so there was no news on anything for a couple years, and so it was kind of up in the air. Like, are they still making this? Are they still devoting resources to it? And survey says yes. This week, Netflix came out. And I think the directors are the Russo brothers, actually.
Okay.
That's what I saw when I read a little bit. I'm like, interesting. They saved the Avengers. They saved the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, until they didn't.
But for like a TV show, that's interesting, I guess. Netflix,
Is it live action then?
I don't remember if it's live action. I know the story is roughly the main characters from Magic. You're going to have Jace and Chandra.
Nisa.
Yeah, Nissa. Maybe Ajani.
Oko?
Hopefully not Oko.
Not a fan of Oko.
I'm reading voice actor, so I don't think it's live action.
Interesting.
Yeah, animated series. Yep. I think it's not the Russo brothers anymore, though. Was the news this week? That's how I heard that. Yep.
Interesting. Well, if they can do it like they did Arcane, could be a great show.
Could be good. I think it has potential. If like Arcane, League of Legends Arcane came from a video game, but nobody knew, and you didn't need to know that to enjoy the show.
Not at all.
If they just do like Magic the Gathering Origins, I don't know, some
whatever they call it,
some cool name, some cool tagline, and then it's just like a good story, I think it could be good. It has potential. The story of Magic the Gathering is great. It's unique. We talk about this almost every week. We love that IP. Like
last week we even talked. Was it last week where we talked about like what they should do when they release sets?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still think that's a great idea. Like they should do that.
It's got potential. I'll probably watch it if and when it comes out. They just confirmed that they're working on it, so we'll see. Looking forward to it. I mean, I never get too excited about anything these days. There's no pre-orders. Gotta wait until things come out, and then we'll see.
Yeah,
but
I mean, TV shows like especially on streaming services are such a low barrier to like you already pay for the streaming service.
Yeah,
so, like
streaming service.
In my opinion, and this is just what I think. If there's a show, it doesn't matter what the headlines say at all. You should watch an episode of it.
It's fair.
Like,
I might actually disagree with that.
Well,
in an episode, I guess 20 minutes.
So, like, for example, I guess so it depends, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll amend my statement.
Sure.
It's like, it's obviously if like a new Barney show came out.
Oh,
I'm not. If like critics are raving about it, I'm not going to go spend my time to go watch a Barney show, right?
Yeah.
If critics are saying that the new Marvel's TV show is the worst thing ever, that's
the greatest thing since sliced cheese,
I still might not watch it, right?
Yeah, sure.
But if it's in a genre that you enjoy,
there you go,
right? If you're into science fiction and there's a science fiction show and there's mixed reviews or even like mostly negative reviews,
okay.
It's like, okay, 25% of people liked this, 75% didn't. It's like I might fall into that 25%.
Okay.
So like if you watch an episode or two of this show and you can be like, yeah, it's pretty okay.
Figure it out, formulate your own opinion. Okay. I see.
For example, there was a TV show that Amazon produced. What was it called?
The Expanse.
That was great. I mean,
you just mentioned sci-fi shows.
Yeah. No, it's Extraction? No, that's not right.
Citadel?
Citadel.
Yeah, Citadel.
Yeah. Did you watch that show?
No. I think because after you talked about it, you were like...
So, like, I'd give it a passing score though.
Didn't they cancel it after one season?
They did, yeah, because they so this is a separate topic, but they spent way more money than they needed to,
Yeah,
right? It's like Rings of Power. They're spending like $1 billion. It's like, okay, but why?
Why?
Like the money aspect aside, right?
Mm-hmm.
The story was like decent. It was like a fine spy type thriller,
kind of sci-fi. It was like slightly postmodern, right?
Yeah, like a little bit futuristic, like 10 years advanced
Like,
or so.
It was almost dystopian, not quite
a slightly dystopian,
Minority Report style.
But I finished the show, like, and I don't regret that. Right? Like, I enjoyed it enough to, and it was every Friday release, and I actually like watched it every Friday when it came out.
Oh, right.
So like, but a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
But like, I would for me suggest it, and I was disappointed when I heard that it was canceled. It's not my favorite TV show ever.
No.
Right? Like, I think The Expanse is way better than it.
You don't have the T-shirt or anything.
No,
like,
right? But I still thought it was a very, very good show.
In that case, I'm okay. Yeah, I thought your original point was going to be like, don't listen to critics, reviewers ever. Just go watch everything yourself.
No, yeah.
I think I agree and disagree with critics, because it's like, yeah, I think they serve a purpose, but sometimes critics are so detached from reality.
That's true. I don't think that you should trust any critics.
No, yeah, like actual critics.
I think that you should find a YouTuber
these days,
or even just look at the online reviews.
Find who you like, your trusted reviewers.
This is another example of this idea. A new movie came out called "Am I a Racist?"
Am I Racist? Yeah,
it's a Daily Wire produced
comedy documentary.
There's no critic ratings because politics.
Yeah,
but everyone who watches it says like, "Oh, this movie is fantastic."
It's a fun movie. Yeah,
I personally am not a huge fan of comedies.
Yeah,
and so that movie is not targeted at me because I'm not a fan of comedies. Could I watch it and really enjoy it? Probably, but I am not going to go pay to watch it.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. You're
like
not target audience.
I'm not like, it could be the best comedy on the planet. I just like.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I find it hard to sit down and watch.
I don't love comedies. You know, if it came out and it was on Netflix and I already own Netflix, it's like
there's enough.
I might put it on
reviews where you're like, maybe I'll throw it on.
So like, streaming services do have that benefit where it's like, you've already paid for it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a sunk cost fallacy.
Kind of. But you can at least search by like the genre you like. You're like, show me all the sci-fi movies. And you're like, I've heard some good things about this one. Or I heard this one was trash.
Yeah. And like, there are redeeming qualities about some, like, there are shows that are bad that have some redeeming qualities that don't make watching one episode a waste of time. Right?
Sure.
It's like, I learned something. This show is not for me. But like, you didn't like want to gouge your eyes out.
Right.
There are some shows where it's like, wow, this 15-minute intro was just the worst thing I've ever seen, and I want to just
complete waste of time.
Yeah, there are shows like that.
Yep, I felt that way. I think after our last episode where I kind of gave my comprehensive X-Men movie review, I hadn't gone and rewatched Dark Phoenix until after that episode. I watched Dark Phoenix, and I got halfway through that movie. Like I was watching the movie and I was like, oh, this movie sucks. This movie is so bad. And then there was like kind of like what I thought was a climax or getting close to it. I'm like, oh, okay, man, this movie's almost over. And then I pause, I check the timer, and I'm like 50 minutes in of a 2-hour movie. I'm like, there's still, I'm barely halfway through. Not even halfway through this movie. Are you kidding me? I'm done. I didn't even finish it.
Really?
I had to pause to like go to the bathroom or make dinner or whatever. And then I'm done. Did not go back to finish that. So I've already seen it before, but that feeling of like, this movie is a waste of time, and it makes me want to gouge my eyes out.
Yeah. Which sucks if you've paid to watch the movie.
Exactly, because then the sunk cost fallacy, you're like, I'm in the movie theater.
Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why I don't like going to matinee or not matinees, release day
weekends
stuff. Yeah. It's like, if it's a movie that I'm pretty confident, like a John Wick movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, they really have to throw a big old wrench into those gears to screw up that universe right now.
Right.
So like,
and I didn't love the fourth movie, but like, it was still good.
Yeah. I definitely think that like 1, 2.
Oh, that's true. I do. Yeah.
3, 4. But then like this is like an 8.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things I like in 4. So some cool elements, like you said.
They did a lot of world building, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, they did some world building. Some of the scenes that again, you're like, okay, even though I might not have liked the whole movie compared to the others, I can be like, oh, that one technique or that one thing there was really cool. Like,
yeah,
or a sci-fi movie, like maybe in some case of movies, you're like, the movie was kind of bad. It's it's like a cheapo sci-fi movie from the 90s, but they explored this really cool concept.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was kind of interesting, or gets you thinking. And
sure.
Or fantasy movies, you can always be like, I can use this in Dungeons and Dragons. Basically, any concept, you're like, that's an interesting character. That's a cool magic concept.
I saw a DM sheet for a boss or a mini boss. It's got 1 HP.
1 HP, okay.
It's the mosquito.
The mosquito. They just can't find the enemy to like.
It's got like a +7 to stealth, or it's a +7 to dex.
Nice, yeah.
And it has 2 abilities. One is basically like a sneak attack type thing, where it's like, and then the other one is a
touch of death. Slowly kills you.
It's like evade or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And it's
so it's even hard to kill with like the area attacks.
Yeah. Where it's something like basically the anyway, I'll have to find it and send it to you. It was very funny.
Just funny. It's a good concept.
Anyway. Magic TV show. If they do it like Arcane, could be good.
Could be good.
If they do it like anything else, it could be mediocre.
Could be bad. Arcane season 2 also comes out in 2 months, I think. I think they dropped another trailer for it.
Was it November of this year?
November, yeah.
I thought so.
We'll probably be talking about that.
100% we'll be talking about that because I'm 100% watching it.
I think need to rewatch season 1. I think I want to do that.
I'm probably going to watch it with Ryan before.
It's been a couple years since season 1, so
2021
or 21, I think. Yeah,
2020 maybe.
The dark years.
Yeah, the dark ages.
Tell me about baseball.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of baseball. Not like I don't know everything, or I'm like,
I'm not
like a statistical
analysis.
Yeah, no. But
it's the only stats thing I know from baseball.
So Shohei Ohtani is this player, amazing player. People are saying he's the best player ever, right?
That's what they tell me, folks.
Yeah. And like his stats kind of back it up, right? Okay. So the Dodgers paid $700 million for him.
Ooh.
He's a $700 million and change contract
for the next 10 years, or
there was a time scale to it. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
But yeah, chonky.
You think those teams ever write the contracts and are like, yeah, $700 million, whatever, and then like in 2 years their budget comes up, they're like, how are we spending this much money? Oh, they just like forget that they've paid out like contracts that are that exorbitant.
Yeah,
every year they're writing the checks.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks have a player, Corbin Carroll. They pay out of college. No, he might have been out of high school.
Holy cow.
No, he was out of college.
Surely.
Right out of college, went to majors, and signed a 10-year contract with the Diamondbacks for $100 million.
Dude, you're set. Like
he signed the contract at 21 or 22 years old.
Go play baseball for 10 years, retire. Like
at 31,
you're done,
and do whatever you want for the rest of your life.
Easy. If you wanted to play baseball a little bit longer, you could.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
People are saying he might be a little bit overpriced. He hasn't. Last year they went to the World Series and he was fantastic in the World Series and in all the playoff games and stuff like that. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani plays for the Dodgers.
$700 million.
$700 million.
The best.
Literally, people are saying the best ever to play the game. So there's a special club of 6 people now called the 40-40 Club.
Okay.
And it's 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases in one season.
In one season, all right.
Right? Which is like pretty difficult because usually the big, powerful hitters are the ones who get the home runs, and then the small, quick guys are the guys who are stealing bases, right? He is this massive unit of a dude who just cranks these balls out, and then he's also fast and knows how to slide into bases super well.
Nice.
So, like, it's really cool, right? So he made it into the 40-40 Club this season, and then on the 19th of this month, September 19th, He made it into the 50-50 club.
No way.
And he is the only player to ever make it into the 50-50 club.
That's cool. He invented his own club.
He is the first member of the 50-50 club. So
first club meeting.
Yep.
I'm in charge.
50 home runs, 50 stolen bases, and now, as of recording, he is 53-53.
Holy cow!
So people are thinking that it's possible.
He's on track.
Like he's only got a few more games, but it's technically possible for him to be in a 60-60 club
60.
if he
has just some phenomenal games.
If he's got 7 more home runs in him and 7 more stolen bases.
Yeah, before the end of the season.
Like, that would be crazy.
That is actually pretty wild. There's another. I guess you said there's a few games. There's another month or two of baseball, right?
Well, so there's another month of regular another couple
season.
Weeks of regular season, and then a month of playoffs and World Series.
Yeah.
So,
which Dodgers
they could. So they're going to the Dodgers are definitely going to the playoffs. Diamondbacks could be going to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I heard because it was in flux because we lost to the Dodgers like last week or 2 weeks ago.
But we beat a couple games. We won against the Brewers, and that's important.
Yeah,
like we're like right on the cusp. So the Diamondbacks for a little bit there were like the best team in baseball in the second half of the season.
Okay, yeah,
like win to loss ratio.
Sure.
Right, we were creaming it, but I haven't been paying a super ton of attention.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe we're still going to the playoffs.
It'd be cool.
It's always fun when they end up playing a game or two here for like.
Yeah, they started the season off a little bit rough. I think they were a little bit cocky from World Series. Almost the same team, right? So you go to the World Series, you're like, we're the best, or like the second best, right? And so now they might have been cocky at the beginning of the season, but they've kind of settled into their groove again. So I think they could go all the way again if they wanted to.
Yeah, focus up. And if they just buy Shohei Ohtani, then we're unstoppable.
Yeah, he's crazy.
That's cool.
He's crazy.
That's cool to hear.
So
breaking records, man.
He also had another record where not a record, but he joined another group where it was 10 RBIs in one game.
Wow, that is good.
So, he had a stat line where it was in one of the more recent games where it was in one game. No, it was the game he got to 50-50. Actually, in that same game, he got to 51-51.
Oh, okay. And then also had 10 RBIs?
And had 10 RBIs.
Runners batted in.
Yeah.
I was watching.
He had three home runs that game.
Putting him up over 51, yeah.
Yeah, and it was crazy. Anyway,
that is. I was gonna ask some steroids. No, I was gonna ask a real question.
No, they test pretty rigorously in baseball now. Versus Barry Bonds.
I don't remember. I thought it would have been an insightful question, something I wanted to know. But Shohei Ohtani
doesn't speak English.
Doesn't speak English.
From Japan.
I mean,
yeah.
I didn't want to say. It sounded like he was from Japan.
Yeah. Apparently, he's he looks like a super nice guy. He doesn't look dickish about being the greatest,
being the best.
So, anyway,
that's pretty funny. Yeah, doesn't speak English.
Yeah,
the Japanese do like baseball.
They're very good at it too.
Yeah, they are.
They're very good at it. There's
That's one part of American culture that just stayed there after the U.S. occupation after World War II. They like baseball.
Yeah, I think they like baseball more than soccer.
I believe so, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
And they have some amazing players. I mean, another famous baseball player, Ichiro.
That sounds right. Yeah,
is
I think I've heard him
from Japan. He's amazing. There's another baseball player right now who is from Japan who's really good, a pitcher who's really fantastic. I don't remember his name.
Is he playing in our?
Yeah. He's in the MLB.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
Shohei Ohtani. What does he play in the field?
Pitcher.
Really?
He's a pitcher.
No way.
So this year he's not pitching.
Okay.
Because
he's trying to focus on breaking some records.
No, it wasn't that. It was a recovery season for him.
Okay. He had a tough season last.
Yeah, something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, he's not. I mean, he's still pitching occasionally, right?
Yeah.
But he's not one of their starters.
Because those pitchers destroy their arms.
Yeah, they do.
It is brutal to do
Speaking
that.
of pitchers, there's another pitcher, plays for the Pirates, Paul Skeens. Skeens, something like that. He's super young guy, like 20, fresh out of college. This is his first season, rookie season. Crazy pitches. The movement on his pitches are just insane. He has a pitch that is, people are calling it like the unhittable pitch.
Okay.
It's been hit, right?
Yeah.
But like
statistically,
it's his own pitch style. Like it's not like a curveball or a slider. It's like this combination pitch that, like, because most pitches, it's usually mostly monodirectional on the ball movement, right?
Yeah.
So you have a ball that comes in and then down, ball that comes in and then sideways, whatever, comes up. And you can do a variety of different things. Most of the time, when a ball does this, it also comes in and down and like to the side. There's usually lateral movement as well as vertical movement. But usually one of those is the vast majority of the movement, and then there's a small section.
A little bit extra,
right?
Yeah.
He has a pitch that literally like goes.
Wow. Like a paper airplane.
The movement on it is just crazy. And he throws at like 106 miles an hour.
Jeez. With that pitch too. So you're like,
I think his fastballs are 105 or 106.
Okay.
I don't think that one is that quick, but it's still like
90,
93, 94.
That's still impressive.
Which is screaming.
Yeah.
There's I'm going to mess the numbers up on this, but I saw a video, like a TikTok or a YouTube short, of explaining the time the time between release of the pitch and the batter has to swing, how much time there is to like recognize where the ball is going to be.
Yeah.
And it's literally like hundredths of a second.
But yeah, because then you have to start telling your hands to swing.
Yeah.
Based on where you think the ball is going to be.
So the ball, if it's going 90, I think it was based off of a 90 mile an hour pitch, right? If the ball's going 90 miles an hour, from release of the pitcher's hand, the pitchers are usually, because they've extended when they throw, right? They're not at they're right in front of the mound, basically, when they throw. There's about 10 feet of your brain doesn't recognize that the ball's coming towards you yet.
Yeah.
And then it does. And then that's the time that you have to figure out, am I swinging at this or not?
Right there, yeah.
And then you have to start the swing, and then the ball gets there. And so you have literally like tenths of a second, if not less.
Yeah, otherwise you're too slow or too early.
Yeah, it'd be very difficult to be too early on some of those, unless it's an off-speed pitch.
Sure, yeah.
Because a lot of pitchers
screw people up.
A lot of pitchers, what they'll do is they'll have these fastballs that are going 105 miles an hour,
which is just
asinine.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Just straight power, just
blasting through the stratosphere, like
boom.
And then they'll throw an off-speed pitch, which will be, they'll
messes up all those calculations.
Yeah, they'll throw a 100 mile an hour fastball, 105 mile an hour fastball, 103 mile an hour fastball, and then all of a sudden you're getting hit with an 80 mile an hour changeup, and it's like, you're like, and then there's like a bunch of like coming in. You're like, oh, what's going on?
Not planning on that.
Yeah, so he's really good.
That's cool.
And
crazy sport, crazy cool guy.
It's a fun sport to watch.
He's breaking records.
I like baseball.
Yeah, I think it was fun. There's a lot of technical skill in that.
A lot.
I enjoy it.
And I think they've made like a bunch of rule changes this last season. One of these seasons
changed baseball.
They did, because they were losing viewership.
Oh yeah.
And it was, the games were just way too long, so they changed it. So now there's a clock, like a pitch clock. You can't just stand on the mound like trying to psych out the batter. There's like a pitch clock, and it's like 15
sending
seconds.
Signals from your catcher, your pitcher for 5 minutes.
And there's like reduced amount of mound visits allowed, so you can only go to the mound every, like, I think it's like
twice
4 times a game, 5 times a game, something like that.
It's interesting. Yeah. I'd be curious to see the statistics on that. That was this season.
It was either this season or last season.
Because last I heard was probably 5 years ago. At this rate, they like did the statistical breakdown of like minutes of action And baseball has like the same minutes of action as football.
Problem is the game was like 4 hours long instead of 1 hour long.
Yeah. A lot of people regard like, football is just better, but it's like baseball is just as much action. Like
there is not. In my opinion, the problem that I have with football is like there's really one way to score, like touchdowns, right?
Touchdowns,
and like you can
kick a field
goal if you want, and like you have the extra point after, and you can do a 2-point conversion if you want, right? But like in baseball, it's like in football, like if you get a touchdown, it's like that's like yay, we got a touchdown, woo, and like you're pumped, right? And like if a baseball player hits a single, it's like everyone's like yeah, let's go. But if the bases are loaded and a player just cranks one out and gets a grand slam, dude, the energy. Or the last game I went to, I think I told you this. We were at the game, tied in the bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth, right?
And the Diamondbacks player, his first game as a professional, he's the first guy at bat in the inning for the Diamondbacks.
Only guy there.
There's no outs, no one on base. Literally, if he got a home run, it would win the game. First pitch. Just cranks one out. Crowd goes wild. Everyone is just like, and it was a tense game because the entire time was like really
back
fun.
And forth,
and so that I'm getting goosebumps like even thinking about it. I'm just like, it's so good when you just like, and everyone's like, it's going,
pretty wild. I like baseball as far as sports go. I think that aspect totally. The energy seems more tense, but then I like the technical skill of baseball. I think on an individual level, football is cool for like the team coordination, but you're right. At the end of the day, it's like these are the plays that work, so we just run these plays. This baseball is like it's a team game, but it's a lot of technical skill on the individual.
Yeah. But anyway, there's our baseball segment, our sports segment. We're being a news show. We gotta have a weather section now.
The weather, we're just normal.
Welcome to the Arizona news. It's a nice 73 degrees outside right now.
It was 73 degrees this morning. It was crazy.
It was gorgeous.
I think
I drove here with my windows open.
The summer's almost over.
I think the summer is over. I'm putting it on. We haven't had a day over 100 for.
We've had some warm Halloweens in years past.
We have. That's true.
I know that, but maybe not this year.
I don't think we've ever had a Halloween that was over 100, have we?
I think we have.
Really? Ugh.
Yeah.
Yuck.
We'll see.
Hopefully it's a cold Halloween.
Yeah.
I know I've definitely gone swimming in October.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no. October's usually...
November gets chilly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever...
April to October is kind of those 6 months.
Yeah, and April's like a little bit cold.
Yeah.
And then October can be cold depending on the year. But like those are like...
I've told this story before, but I always base it off of Captain, right? My parents' dog. So whenever he jumps in the pool, that's when you know it's... Because he doesn't have a tolerance for the cold water either, but he does like swimming. So when he likes swimming enough to overcome the coldness of the water, that's how you know.
That's when you're we're good to go.
It's good. It's good swimming time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually about April.
Alrighty. Should I
end it up
with a
wrap it up?
A card of the day.
Magic card of the day or of the week.
Yeah. The so this is a sorcery from Vintage Masters.
Whoa.
It's a mythic rare.
Oh.
4 mana.
Day of Judgment.
No. Green.
Wrath of God. Oh, green. Abundance.
No.
No, sorcery. Harmonize.
Nope. Keep going.
4 mana green sorceries. What's the cost? 3 green.
2 and 2. 2 and
2 pips. Green sorcery is natural order.
Nope.
No, that's an instant, I think.
I've never heard of this one until
Greater Good is an enchantment.
One word. Starts with an E.
Environmentalism.
Eureka.
Never heard of this one.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Huh.
So, Eureka. It would definitely go in like my elves / like big stompy non-X creature deck.
Some mono green non-X creatures.
So, sorcery. We've gone over the cost and stuff at this point. Mm-hmm. So, starting with you. Each player may put a permanent card from his or her hand onto the battlefield. Repeat this process until no one puts a card onto the battlefield.
It's hypergenesis. Wow, hypergenesis only lets you do one, I think. But I think it's anyway. Hypergenesis is not the card, but it's a similar effect. Eureka though for 4 mana.
4 mana. So like, it's cool.
Yeah,
because like 4 mana,
you guarantee to get one.
You guarantee to get one. So it's like, oh, if you have a 10 mana thing that has an ETB trigger, it's like, okay, I'll pay 4 mana for that.
The next player kind of wants one because you just paid 4 mana for a 10 mana thing, even if he only gets like a 5 or 6 mana thing. It's free for me.
Yeah.
And he got a big thing, so I got to make up. And then the next guy's like, well, everyone else is getting big things. I want one. And then the last guy's like, well, guys, he's going to get a bigger thing if I let this go again. So I have to stop it here. And I don't get anything.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it. I was like, the best way to play this is if your opponent doesn't have any cards in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
You play that and you drop a 10-10.
For free. For 4 mana.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Eureka.
Anyway.
What's the art on that one look like?
Like a little druid lady.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought it was
not bad.
It's only legal in Commander and Legacy.
Yeah. Well, all right. I guess it's old enough, yeah.
Looks like it came out in... All the rulings are from 2004.
Okay, yeah, old enough. So, 2004 was pretty modern, so must be Legacy. Oh, you said Vintage Masters was that art, which was the reprint set for...
Yeah, oh, sorry, yeah, Vintage is also checkmarked.
Yeah, Legacy and Vintage are basically the same format.
Gotcha.
So. Legacy has a banned list, Vintage has a restricted list, but it's the same list.
I'm just reading all these. If the card has an X in its mana cost tree, X is 0.
Yeah, that is the rule.
Yep. In a game of N players, the process ends when all N players in sequence, starting with you, choose not to put a card onto the battlefield. It does not end the first time a player chooses not to put a card onto the battlefield. If a player chooses not to put a card on the battlefield, but the process continues, that player may put a card on the battlefield the next time the process gets around to them. Wait, what?
Wait, what? Okay, this is supposed to be our short little segment at the end, but reread that card. Starting with you.
Starting with you, each player may put a permanent card from his or her hand onto the battlefield. Repeat this process until no one puts a card onto the battlefield.
Until no one.
So you can just choose to drop your hand?
I think so. So you have to go one whole cycle.
Of no one, so everyone just dumps their hand.
Yeah, everyone dumps their hand of all the permanents. Until it comes around to, nobody either has any cards in hand or, you don't have
or no permanents in hand
left. Or you choose no. Everybody chooses no.
Interesting.
Everybody. I thought it was just a one person chooses no.
Me too.
I forget my joke, my example from earlier. Holy cow. Eureka. That's why they call it Eureka. Because we figured it out.
Ah. I might put this card into a green deck just for fun.
That's how the card actually works. That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, in a game of N players, the process ends when all N players in sequence choose not to put a card on the battlefield. It doesn't end the first time a player chooses not to put a card on the battlefield. Player chooses not to put a card on the battlefield, but the process continues. That player may put a card onto the battlefield the next time the process gets around to him or her.
That's why it's starting with you, but so if they pass once and then it comes around the second time, they can choose that time, yeah. It's cool. Cool.
Interesting.
And ETBs won't resolve until after this card is done resolving, so you could just have this wild, crazy bomb of a stack. It's like, I'm going to ETB here, and then there, and then this. And so you're going to have, like, if it's all ETBs, you're going to have, like, 12 things that fire off as soon as Eureka is done.
Eureka!
Okay, so what's the end result of it? It took us 20 minutes to figure out this stack, and everyone's dead. Oh, great. Awesome. We did all the math, all the last in, first out. Wild.
Because all this stuff is on the battlefield.
Yeah, because it all comes in at the same time. You would order the stack last in, first out.
Yeah.
So whoever had the last ETB resolves.
Should probably make sure to
build a stack.
Yeah, with the cards.
Actually, because that would get intense.
Can you imagine if someone had 17 cards in hand? and they just choose to drop all of it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. In response to you casting Eureka, let me draw my whole deck real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a fun card that would make for like a variant commander magic if you just had like an extra deck of cards where it's like, every turn or every other turn you like flip over a random event card. It's just like, this turn Eureka.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It just
a bunch of like sorceries or something like that.
Yeah, they would just totally just flip the game on its side. A lot of sort of the chaos type effects would be just like fun modifiers.
Yeah,
for an extra
or just like a deck in the middle, and then the person who goes first every time flips over a card or something.
Flip over a card, see what random thing happens this turn.
Yeah. It's the random event in OPR.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is a great mechanic in my opinion.
Random events.
Sometimes they're stupid, but most of the time they're like, "Oh, that's interesting."
That was interesting.
Keeps you from walking into terrain.
Yeah, right.
So, anyway, there we are, sir.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to the 5G podcast.
Thank you for listening to this 5G podcast.
We went long today, just for you.
Just for you, wonderful viewers.
Extra content.
Yes,
that you don't pay for.
True.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of the 5G podcast.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.